Well, how you doing today?
I'm doing so well. It's hot. I am flying to New York after this, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm on cloud nine at the moment. I feel really good.
I know ahead of the release of this song, you were teasing things on socials, and now that we're a week out after it's been released, did you always know that you had something so incredibly special with a song like Rush?
You know what? I knew that I had something that I really wanted to listen to with my friends. I think sometimes I make music where I'm like, I always I would hope so, but I always love the music that I make, right? But it's hard to read what other people are gonna, how they're gonna react and stuff. And I remember I went away with my sister and her friends, and she's younger than me, and she's got just the coolest friends, and we were all having such a good time, and everyone's just hot and drinking and sweaty, and it was summer, and it was just such a good vibe. And my sister was like, "Can you play them that song?" And I'd just done it, and I was kind of embarrassed or whatever, but everyone was drunk enough where I was like, "This is going to be fun." And I played it, and I think that was when I was like, "Oh, I feel like this pops off," because everyone sort of stood up, and like I said, they were really drunk, so I think they would have stood up no matter what. But they were singing the song by the end, and I think that was when I was like, okay, this feels like I wanted to kind of slap people in the face with the first single and just do something so bold and big and kind of brash, and this felt like that to me. So I'm just happy that it's seemingly that people are really into it, and that but you can't ever predict it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
What is your personal favorite part of the song for people to pay extra attention to?
I really there's two things. First, there's this tremolated vocal sample at the very end in the outro of the song, and it always made me do this really embarrassing thing where I'm
you're kind of shimmying right now.
Exactly.
You're shaking. Yeah.
Shimmying my chest. And so I knew in the video, I was like, we need to have someone in that part of the song, really just shaking their tatas. And so that's probably my favorite part. And then also, some of the lyrics in this song are really just cheeky, and we had a lot of fun writing them. Especially in verse 2. I really like the lyrics there.
Do you have a favorite one that just sticks out?
I think "Kiss It When You're Done" is really hot to me.
Take me back to the making of Rush. I know it's produced by Styles Fuego, Novador, and Zone. What was the session like?
So this was a weird one because I made most of the album with a few people that I have worked with before, and I was I really just wanted to make this album with friends because I was I'm in such a good place in my own life, and I just wanted it to be fun. I was it's got to be just a fun time. But then we were near the end of the album, and I didn't have the unapologetic club song, and I knew that was so important to the identity of the album. And so I actually put on Instagram, I was like, does anyone have tracks that they want to send me? And people started flooding my inbox. I was getting, I don't know how they found my email, but I was getting emails, and I was getting Instagram DMs, and just kind of hit up. And then, it was coming from all these random places. There was some really, really good stuff, some amazing, amazing stuff was sent my way. And then this actually came from a friend though, someone that I really know in real life. And he was like, "Hey, I'm managing our other friend, Alex. And Alex just worked on this song or worked on this track." And I was just waking up in Melbourne, and I put the phone to my ear. It's 6 a.m. or something. And I clicked play, and this song, from the first second it starts, you hear that chant. And I was like, oh, damn, this feels, I sort of sat up in bed. The chant was there, and then I went into the studio, I think it was that day, and I wrote the verses and the pre-chorus and everything like that around it. And it was so easy. It was really, it just kind of came super easily. It was great.
What a way to wake up.
Yeah.
Just open your phone.
No, I had no idea that posting on my Instagram would be, the way that we would get the first single. That's kind of crazy.
Are you still getting residual DMs and
Sometimes.
emails? You just open it?
Sometimes, yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about the music video just because, talk about an incredible visual. But when you're making a song like Rush, do those images start to populate in your mind when you're cutting vocals?
For sure. I think that's when I know that I'm feeling something, is when I start to imagine the video. And also when I start to move my body in the studio, then I'm okay, this is clearly evoking something. But the video was just like, it's really cool. The visual, I think, has really kind of set the tone for the album, and kind of, it was important to me to build a world. I've always strived so hard. I care so much about the visuals, almost as much as I care about the music. And working with Gordon Von Steiner, who directed the video, he's like been a friend of mine for a really long time. And we went to Berlin. Like we were talking about throwing a party and filming it. And we decided, we're like, okay, well, where else? Like, let's just go to Berlin. And so we packed our bags, and it was like a friend trip, basically. We just went to Berlin for like a week and filmed it, and it was so sick.
Now that you've said that, it makes complete sense.
Yeah,
I went to Berlin in April.
Yeah,
and it blew my mind. I
Yeah.
mean, just the parties there are absolutely insane.
I also think for me, like being a bit more kind of relaxed in work allows me to like go out more and stuff like that. So the week was just actually genuinely fun. Like we were going out as well, and the cast in the video was so cool and so nice, and we all, like hung out the next day even when we weren't filming. And
It almost gives me like Britney Spears' "Slave for You" vibes.
Thank you
mixed with like a
so
Calvin
much.
Klein fashion ad. It is so beautifully shot.
Thank you.
And everything. I mean, it's insane. How many takes? How long does it take to get a video like that right?
2 days. Yeah, it was 2 days, which is a lot for a music video these days. Normally it's like a 1-day shoot, and so we felt kind of extravagant for having two.
And in an era where it feels like, the art of the music video is almost lost, right? We live in this instant gratification. People want things fast, and it's so easily consumed. How does it feel to watch a video like this absolutely take off?
I mean, I'm just so happy because it means that I get to make more of them. Because, it's like you really got to fight to kind of like get visuals made these days, unless it's like for TikTok, like that's easy to get made. For the videos, it's just a big ask, because people don't really watch YouTube videos, watch music videos in the same way that they did. And so for me, though, it's just like such a part of the expression that I was like, what do I have to do? Like literally, who do I have to, whatever, to get this video made? Because I will do it. And I'll do it even without the video being made, to be honest. But no, yeah, it worked. So we got the video made, and now because people are like responding to the video as much as they are the song, I get to do it again. So I'm really excited.
Now I got to ask: is there an uncut or a not safe for work version of the video somewhere?
The version that we see in America is the like kind of explicit version.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we had to pare it back for other territories, but America gets the full balls to the wall version.
That sounds very American,
Right? Yeah, America. Let's go.
Well, I bring up the "Slave for You," comparison and compliment, because I feel like you're truly in your pop star era, right? You said in the past that you're inspired by artists like Janet Jackson, Britney, Christina. If you could pick any pop star to remix Rush, who would it be and why?
Janet. Yeah, Janet Jackson. I just think she, to me, is like, she's sort of the ultimate. I think, she's so inspiring to me, like endlessly inspiring to me. I went and saw her concert at the Hollywood Bowl. This was a couple of years ago now. And I really, really think that like set me on my path for the album in general. I was just like, to me, the pop stars of that sort of era are so like, there's so much nostalgia, like really the idea of, for me, it's almost like a character at this point, but this like kind of, I don't know, like untouchable, like sex pop star that's like global, like they travel and they play for these massive crowds, and there's the choreo and everything, and like the videos were just so mega. Like everything about that to me is like so nostalgic for when I was growing up, and kind of is like, that's the era where I fell in love with pop music. And Janet, to me, I think the reason why she's so inspiring is because the music is just like untouchable. She is so good, and is constantly pushing boundaries and trying things. And it's like, there's some really experimental moments in her catalog, and she's just the coolest to me.
Now, you've described this new album being about sex, partying, dancing, and real connections. Is Rush an indicator of the rest of the tracks that we're going to be getting in October?
I think Rush is maybe the most like turbo, you know what I mean? Like it's pretty, like it's going 100%. And the rest of the album has moments of that for sure. But I think, for me, like the thing that was really important to me across this album is, I'm in a phase of, having a lot of fun. But at the same time, I am just like a really, I think, I think a lot about everything, and so I wanted to make sure that there was like layers and vulnerability in it still, you know, and so. But yeah, you can 100% like party to the album for sure.
Well,
It feels very warm to me.
I know you spoke to Vogue, and I'm going to quote you for a second. You said, I was ready to make this depressing breakup album. Did any of that original idea make it onto something to give each other? Two songs.
Two songs. Yeah. And they suck to listen to, but not just for me, not for everyone else. I think everyone else is going to like them. But
I think it goes back to your original point when we were talking about Rush, how you knew you had something special, right? Because as artists, you cut yourself open, you put yourself out on the stage for everyone to see. It's incredibly vulnerable. It's scary. And Rush feels like a song that you can have fun to. And I'm sure those two songs that we're going to be hearing in October, they're painful. And it's hard to kind of relive when you listen to them.
For sure. I think there's also an element of like relief kind of listening back to them now, because it almost feels like reading an old diary entry or something. So thankfully, I'm scared to play them live. That I'm really scared for, because I think that will feel tough. But as far as just like kind of, you know, relating to them now, they feel like I'm like, damn, I can't believe that was where I was at when I listened to them.
Now, I know you mentioned that you really set out to work with friends on this project. Who are some of the other creatives and collaborators that we can find on this album?
Oscar Gores is on almost the whole thing. He produced My and on my last album, and I love working with him. This is like his album as much as it is mine. Leland is on almost every song. He's like my best friend. Styles is on a couple songs. A.G. Cook is on the album. Ian Kirkpatrick is on the album. Me too.
Ian's the best.
Yeah, those are some, I love those songs. The Ian songs are really, really sick.
Yeah. Any features?
There is a feature, yeah. There's one feature.
Can you talk about it yet, or is that a conversation for another day?
Maybe let's talk about it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, from your previous two albums, you've always been intentional and open with who you are. But something about this new era, I mean, it just feels more mature. And with maturity comes freedom. Talk to me about this evolution for you in your lyrics, in your production, in your visuals.
I think it's really just like, thank you so much, by the way. Yeah. But I think it's like reflective of like growth as a person. You know what I mean? When I started, I was like a kid essentially, and I think that there's something really kind of sweet about that. When I go back and listen to like, you know, Blue Neighborhood or something like that, I can hear my young self in it, and you know, it's nice to go back and listen to. But I'm just glad that, like, you know, now I just feel so much more like relaxed about everything, and I'm having so much more fun, and I also just feel way more kind of like confident. I think maybe because I'm like, I don't know, because things, I'm really just happy. I don't feel like I need a whole lot. So I'm just like doing the stuff that I actually want to do. Yeah. And the like kind of lifestyle is so much better now than it was.
What do you attribute that to?
I really attribute it to, I think, Australia and like my family, you know, just, yeah, I just don't know what more I could like want, really. I know that if anything, like if everything was to go to shit, I can go to Australia and just like chill and be with my family, and everything would be totally fine. So when you feel like you know, like no one can take that away from me, so then the rest of this is just like fun and a bonus, and yeah.
You're enough.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
I think so, yeah.
You're not chasing anything to fill that void.
Totally, yeah. I mean, the other stuff is cool though. Like,
of course,
that's pretty sick when crazy shit happens. That's cool.
And crazy shit is definitely happening to Troye Sivan. Is there a particular song on Something to Give Each Other that you're nervous but also excited for your fans to listen to?
There's one on there that's like my favorite song on the album, that I'm just so excited for people to hear it, and I'm curious about. It's one of those ones where you can't, like I said, you can never predict if something's gonna like work or not. And even though that doesn't matter to me, especially not with that song, I'm just curious. I'm really, really excited for people to hear that one. For me, it's probably the song that I'm like most proud of in my whole like
discography.
Career. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
And speaking of your career from your previous musical eras, which song can you just like can you give me a song from the last two albums that you'd say is your favorite right now that we could play on the show? I'm sure it changes.
Yeah, it changes. And to be honest, I don't listen to my own music that much, except when I'm making it. But I love Dance to This with Ariana. first of all, I can't believe that Ariana is on the song. Like that's still kind of a cool thing to me. And then also just I just really like the song. I love all the melodies. I think the bridge is really cool. I think the vibe is just kind of interesting, and I can't remember what our like references were that day. So for me, there's like this thing of like, oh, where did we get that? Like that's kind of cool, you know. So it's been long enough now where I've kind of like forgotten it, and I have almost like fresh ears on it.
Your TikTok is something that brings a lot of people joy.
Nice.
And I've been kind of scrolling through and going through some videos, and I feel like we need an update on a couple of them.
Okay.
The first one was when you had a crush on a guy cooking, and it turns out that it was your friend Chloe's boyfriend.
Yeah.
What's the update on that situation?
I haven't spoken to either of them about it.
Really?
And I don't know if they've seen the TikTok, but I messaged with her about something else, like chill. So I was like, okay, cool. She doesn't hate me. Like she's not pissed off at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe she hasn't seen it.
Maybe.
Yeah. You asked on TikTok how to get a hold of K-pop artist Hyunjin, and the fans went absolutely wild. And you made a second one saying that that's the last time I publicly crush on a K-pop star. I almost got murdered. What the hell happened, and what were some of like the craziest responses?
Bro, it was so crazy. Like yeah, I'm even nervous to talk about it now. Yeah. But I'm like, I thought he was super, super, super sweet, and like obviously like so beautiful. And then I deep dived, and I'm like, this guy is insanely talented. Like watching him dance, I'm like, oh my God, it's insane. And so anyways, I put up this like, you know, cute TikTok, I thought. I got a lot of nice messages, like a lot of people being like, oh, this is cute, whatever. But I also got like a lot of just like death threats and stuff like that. So I am pulling the brakes on that.
I also saw that a lot of fans want you to collaborate as well.
That would be so sick. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat, yeah.
Talk to me about the launch of your luxury lifestyle collection of fragrances as well.
Yeah, so I haven't really spoken about that yet, like publicly, but I am working on a really cool thing.
Is it Soulange Yor?
Soulange Yor, yeah.
Soulange Yor.
You can call it TLY if you want.
Okay, TLY.
Yeah. But I think a lot of, I got kind of approached by these companies that kind of build brands for, musicians and stuff like that. And you kind of slap your name on at the end. And this is something I care about so much. I renovated my house in Australia, and it's like a huge passion project for me, like massive. And so the idea of like home and scent and fragrance is something that I've cared about so much. And I just felt really heartless to kind of like, I knew that I wanted to do it, but to do it in a way where I wasn't, really involved. And so I did it with my brother. We've started it like totally independently out of Australia, and we've been working super, super, super hard on it, learning like so much. And I can't wait for people to see it and feel it and smell it. And yeah.
Well, as someone who loves scents and fragrances as
I'll
well.
I'll get you.
I mean, as soon as you walked in the studio, you asked me what I was wearing. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. No, because now I'm at the point where like, as soon as I smell someone that I like the smell, I'll ask you what it was, and then I'll go home and like Google it, and I'm like looking at the
picking
scent
up the notes and
stuff
everything.
like that. And
yeah, I'm a
really
scent
fun.
nerd as well.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
And smell it when it's ready. What is it about Australians just making the best pop anthems right now?
I don't know, but I'm an insufferable Australian. If I hear an Australian accent, I will be like, are you from Australia? Where are you from? Like I get so proud, and I love Kylie Minogue, of course. So, but I don't know. I'm really, really proud to be even, in that conversation, and I'm excited to go home to Australia and kind of like, celebrate.
Yeah. The last thing that you want to say to your fans to get ready for this third album and your new era.
Thank you so much, because this is my third album, and it's been a really long time since my second one, and to feel this much like love, to kind of kick off this process, it's just like another thing that is just making me feel really, really, really grateful for life at the moment. And a lot of them have we've sort of grown up together, and I'm just really excited to kind of have this chapter with them, and hopefully something to give each other tour at some point, and kind of just like keep hanging.